Hey great minds, welcome again to the Great Nurse Diaries. We are still in the month of April, which is Cesarean Section Awareness Month. And in my last video, I talked about what cesarean section is, the first type of cesarean section, which is elective cesarean section. So today I'll be talking about the second type, which is emergency cesarean section. So if you haven't seen the previous video, kindly check my last post, watch, like, comment, share, and I really appreciate you all for the love shown in my previous video. God bless you. Do not forget to follow for more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise you all more health education content and lifestyle content. So today let's talk about emergency cesarean section, which is the second type of cesarean section. What is an emergency cesarean section? An emergency cesarean section is a surgery that is done quickly and urgently when there is a sudden risk to the life of the mother, the baby, or both. Unlike elective cesarean section that is planned, an emergency cesarean section is not planned. It is done when something goes wrong during pregnancy or labor. So what are the reasons for emergency cesarean section, the indications for emergency cesarean section? Number one, fetal distress. This means the baby is not getting enough oxygen and it is noticed through an abnormal heartbeat pattern. That baby has to be delivered ASAP through an emergency cesarean section. When the baby is not getting enough oxygen, there will be distress. Then number two, we look at prolonged or obstructed labor. When labor is taking too long or the baby cannot pass through the birth canal. There is something we call CPD, that's cephalopelvic disproportion, which means there is a misfit between the fetal head and the maternal pelvis. That baby cannot pass through the birth canal and the baby has to be delivered through an emergency cesarean section so as not to lose that baby. Then number three, we look at placental problems like placental previa. We call it placental previa when the placenta covers the cervix or when the placenta comes out too early. We call it placenta abruption, causing bleeding and danger to the mother and baby. So when there is any of this, an emergency cesarean section has to be carried out. Then we look at umbilical cord problems. There is something we call cord prolapse. When the cord slips out, baby should come out before placenta or the cord. So in the case when the cord slips out of the womb, it is an indication because the oxygen will be cut off from the baby. There will no longer be oxygen supply. So an emergency cesarean section has to be done immediately in this case. And we look at uterine rupture. This one is real, but it is life-threatening. It can be so serious. That is when a woman is in labor and the womb tears suddenly. An emergency cesarean section has to be done immediately to save the life of the mother. And if I thought the baby is gone, at least the mother's life should be saved. Then the last but not the least, we look at severe maternal conditions like very high blood pressure, heavy bleeding, or infections that can put the mother and the baby's life at risk. So in severe maternal conditions, an emergency cesarean section has to be done because it can be very life-threatening when a woman is bleeding heavily during labor or during pregnancy, or there is infection or high blood pressure. Is an indication for emergency cesarean section. So in emergency cesarean section, time is very important. You don't waste time. As a woman, as far as you are conscious, you are able to respond, you can sign the consent form yourself. You don't have to wait for anybody. Save your life. Save your baby's life. In the case of emergency, you can sign that consent form yourself to avoid delay, to allow the medical team to act fast to save your life and that of your baby. So cesarean section is not an abnormal delivery. I hope with these two videos, the one I posted the last time and today's video, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that cesarean section is not an abnormal delivery. It is a life-saving procedure. Please, let's stay informed. We shouldn't be ignorant in today's world. Let's stay informed. As adults, we have the right to make informed decisions about our bodies. And please continue to follow for more content, like, share, comment, and you know what? I will see you in my next video. Bye.